Hey folks, Paul Reddick here. Welcome back to another edition of the Baseball Dads Podcast. Today, I'm going to tell you what my favorite 6U National T-Ball Championship event is. I know you guys have been listening to me for a while. We have a pretty big audience. I know you guys have probably been wondering, when will Paul finally tell us which of these illustrious events of 6U baseball does he stand behind? Well, I'm going to do that in a second, but head on over to 567dad.com. The book is out, 567dad Baseball Edition. We're giving them away free there. All the information's there. So last Friday, God sent me a gift. I got an email from a friend of mine that showed me an advertisement, and maybe we could put this gift from God up here. And it was for a 6U Winter National Championship. And, you know, at first it's so absurd it looks like a joke, right? But then when I dug around a little bit and found out that it was real, we've had a little bit of fun with it on social media and in our personal communications. So, but let me make a few statements here about this event. So number one, it's the Winter Championships. If your 5 and 6 year old is not committed enough, doesn't have the dedication and the discipline enough to play in the Winter T-Ball Championships, where do you think that's going to be in the spring when he's 7? Where do you think for the 5-year-old? Where do you think when he's in the spring T-ball championships? If he's not committed enough to play in the winter, where do you think that's going to be come springtime? Let me tell you this: he's not going to be ready for 8U. He's not going to be ready for 8U unless he's committed to playing the winter baseball championships. Let me tell you something. What I think you should do is that if your son doesn't want to play in this tournament, or maybe you don't want to make the financial investment of $450 for your son to play in a 2-day National T-Ball Championship, I think you should sit down with your toddler, and I think you should explain to him what it takes to play at the next level. Those 8U kids have bags with their names on them. They've got home and away hats. If you want that, if you want it, you've got to put in the work in the winter. Hey, I had one time a coach that said championships are won in the off season, and now they are. Now it's true. I used to think that was just about preparation, but now championships are actually won now in the off season. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I love the scheduling of this too, because right as the World Series ends, as Major League Baseball, grown men who are paid millions of dollars, end their season, this is like a few weeks after. So it's good for these 5 and 6 year olds to get. But talk to your toddler. Talk to your toddler. It's ridiculous. It's childish if they are not going to make the commitment to play in the Winter T-Ball Championship, National Championships. It's only $450. Come on. Invest in your child. So I hope you're picking up the sarcasm in that. So I actually invited the guy on the podcast, and this guy Darren, who runs it, I'm not going to give out his info. You could look it up, find it on your own. But and so I sent him what would be a normal podcast invite to be on the show, and he replied that, like, you know, kind of he was interested to do it. And there was a minute there where I was like, man, I could get him on. I know I could get him on, and then I could kind of ask him the question. But then I felt like a little Maury Povich, you know, like I didn't want to ambush the guy, so I wanted to play it fair. So I replied back and I said, I'm dying to hear a grown man tell me why 5 and 6 year old kids should play tournament baseball. And he didn't reply, and I followed up, and then he said he wouldn't do it. So I gave him a chance to explain his side of the story, and he declined. Now, had someone asked me, would you like to come on a show to talk about why 5 and 6 year olds shouldn't play, I would jump at the chance to do that. I've been looking for an opportunity to really attack this, but just the absurdity of this promotion just gave that opening. So go with me here. Let's break this down a little bit. First of all, it's in the winter, right? So it's kind of ridiculous. Number two, these kids, they can't play the game yet. T-ball is a tool for developing players, so they get the flow of the game, so they can learn the kind of basics, like you run here and the ball gets thrown here and the hitter stands here and you score a run by doing this and you field the ball. That's what T-ball is for. It's a developmental tool. So now these are kids who literally cannot play the game. You have to bring in an apparatus. You have to bring in a tee to enable them to actually do something that looks like a game. And I don't know if you guys have been around a lot of t-ball games. I mean, come on, right? Like it's come on, right? Like it's going to be long stretches between outs here. So now you're bringing an apparatus to kids. They can't pitch. Right, so they probably maybe can't reach the plate. Even if they can reach the plate, they probably can't throw with enough accuracy to throw a strike. They literally cannot. They cannot hit a thrown ball. So you have no pitcher and no hitter. You have no pitcher-hitter interface. I think the catcher stands back, right? Because I know where I've always seen it, it's like a dad that kind of stands in there as the catcher or something like that. So they literally cannot play the game. So before they could play the game, you are taking something which is supposed to be used as a developmental tool to teach the kids the basics of the game, along with sportsmanship, fair play, values, discipline, dedication, all those things that we talk about in the game of baseball. So before they can play the game, you are changing what the measurement of success is for baseball. You're teaching them that winning a championship, playing a tournament, a championship that you guys just made up and put a fee on it and called it a championship. So before they can actually even learn how to play the game, you are instilling in them what is important. You are changing the measurement for how kids define success in the game of baseball, and you're doing it at 5 and 6 years old. Let me read to you some of the comments that I got. Ridiculous. Welcome to Texas. 6U, that's a new one. Unbelievable. Child abuse, plain and simple, from a very prominent coach. Some call these teams actually elite. Sad. This takes it to a whole new low. Absurd, from another very prominent person in this. So it's wow. I thought this was a joke, which I got a lot of. I thought people thought that this advertisement was a joke. We have to stand up to this. You have to. Parents, if you are thinking about taking your kid to this tournament, please do not. Please turn around. Get your money back. If you're thinking about having one of these tournaments, we're going to put you on this show. I hate to get into these things like this, but this is ridiculous. We're going to put you on this show. This show gets mailed out to about 480,000 people every time we do it, and that doesn't count the people that view it on all other social media. I will continue to beat this drum for as long as I have it. So if you have a 6U tournament or a 6U thing like that, send it to me. We will put them on this show. But let me call also too to the people in the professional baseball community, the college baseball community, the high school community. You have to take a stand in your local communities against these events and these teams. You have the power of your position in your community. You have to be able to use that leadership to sway people away from something that is going to be potentially harmful for their kid. And for the college and the high school coaches, and even like in the professional level coaches, look, you guys keep your jobs by winning games. These guys are burning out the talent pool that you are gonna look for in 10 years when you want to recruit them to your college or you want them to play on your high school baseball team. They are burning out the talent pool, all because they made up a championship. They're going to give kids a trophy, and they're going to change the measurement. And these kids are going to be burned out of the game by the time they're 10, 11, and 12. You guys have to stand up to this locally. I'm going to tell you, I will continue to pound this drum while I have it. If you have examples of this, send them to me. Send them to 567pitcher at Gmail. So 567 numbers, 5, 6, and 7 pitcher, no spaces, at Gmail. Send them to me. We will expose these guys on this show. This is an absolute embarrassment to our game. And I have a little bit of inside information on this. Regulation is coming to this. Regulation is coming to youth baseball and to travel baseball. It's being worked on now. Probably, these things take time, 18 months to 2 years. It will come down, and organizations like this will be shut down for what they do and how they exploit these children. And sometimes the best thing to do is let's just start calling it what it is. This is just complete and utter exploitation of children so you can make some money. You're banking on the fact that there's 7, 8 teams, so maybe there's 50 or 60 kids. You're banking on those parents. You're banking on whatever it is, 50 sets of parents that are lunatics or don't know any better. And if they don't know any better, shame on you for putting them in that situation that they want to put their kid on a stage like that. Go back and listen to the podcast I did on We're Creating Child Actors. We are now taking kids that should be in the developmental stage of the game, that should be fostering a love for the game, a knowledge of the game, and a spirit of fair play, cooperation, and fun. And you guys are putting it in this blender, and you are churning out a terrible mix and making what is most important, that they win and that they're champions and they win the tournament, and that at 5 and 6 years old, they shouldn't be keeping score of anything. 3 years ago, they were pooping in their pants. That's all I got to say about that. Please share this. Please share it. It would mean the world to me to share it. And please send me 567pitcher@gmail. Please send me the examples you have on these. We'll expose them all on their show. If you do care about your child and you do want to have a great relationship and great communication, I suggest you pick up the 567dad.com. We're giving it away free. This is a book that I hope will help you bridge the gap between you and your child, and so you can develop a lifelong relationship with them. So please send me anything you have on this, guys. We'll expose them all right here. 5U, 6U National T-Ball Championship. Never thought I'd say that out loud.